what we are looking at is the entry SUV segment, which is the 4-meter SUV segment, which has become quite big now. In fact, in 21-22, for the first time ever, it became the largest segment in the industry. It was 22% of the industry. The next highest segment, which used to be traditionally for the last 6-7 years the number one segment, was the premium hatch segment. Now, the premium hatch segment became the number two segment last year with about 20% of the overall market. So, ये 22% था और ये premium hatch was 20%. So, one thing which we have been noticing last since 2015-16 after the introduction of the Brezza has been the huge increase in the share of this segment in the overall industry. So, which in 2015-16, it was 5% of the overall industry. It's become now 22% and the largest. That's one big observation about. Second observation which we see is that it has become more fragmented. So earlier there used to be Brezza and EcoSport. Those were the only two real models, large selling models. Now we have seen the introduction, especially in the last 2.5 years, Venue, Sonnet, Nexon. Now it's like more fragmented. You have Magnite, you have Kiger, you have so many other models now. So it's become more fragmented. So Brezza, while still the market leader, 21-22, we sold about 114,000 vehicles. Is still doing a quite large number, almost 10,000 a month types. But the market has become more fragmented, as I said. So we believe that this segment will continue to increase. We also observe in this segment a third major trend, which is the significant shift from diesel to petrol. So this segment in 15-16, 79% of the share was diesel. Today that 79% has become 21%. And petrol, which used to be just about 20% earlier, has now become almost 70, 75, 76% of the overall compact SUV. That's the third major trend which we have seen. The fourth trend, especially for Brezza, which we have seen, is that the consumer is now younger and more affluent. So younger se mera matlab, our benchmark in the industry is what percentage of the sale come from people who are less than 35 years of age. So that is now almost 45, 46, 47% of the sale of Brezza is now in this category, less than 35. And the fifth trend, which is what actually is the real reason for the new Brezza, is that the buying criteria for consumers in this segment seems to have shifted to more technology and more features. Earlier, it used to be purely about design and about brand and mileage. Those three still remain the top criteria. However, we have seen a fourth criteria now becoming really big, which is the features and technology. And that is the reason why in the new Brezza, we have introduced several new features. And specifically, that's one of the major reasons why we have now decided to upgrade. And it's an absolutely new Brezza. So it has got lots of technology, lots of new features. There's some features which are like first time in the segment, like a HUD, the heads-up display, or a 360-degree camera, which is third is telescopic steering, which is not there in the segment for any car. And there are some which are really new, both for Maruti as well as for Brezza. It is like electric sunroof. We have the wireless charging. We have, of course, 6 airbags, all those other features which are there anyway, with the automatic 6-speed automatic transmission and paddle shifting, gear changing and so on. So in all, it has become much more techy, and we have therefore also in marketing terms positioned it a little different from something which is about, its tagline was big wicked. It was that it wickedly it was about the consumer being wicked, something which in a nice way, in a nice sense. Whereas what we are now doing is that we are also addressing the positioning it as an urban SUV, which is about adventure, which is about technology, which is about features, and that is something which we believe will attract many more new buyers. And that is one reason why we our projection for volumes have increased from the 10,000 which we are doing this per month to much more than that. So that is what is the basic package for the Brezza, and we started the bookings. It started today. We already have about 20,000 bookings of the old of the existing Brezza, which we are converting to the new Brezza as well. So this is the overall package which we are offering, and we will be launching it on the 30th of this month. Um,
Right.
this we hopefully our market share in the SUV segment, starting with this product, will go up.
Okay. And right now, if I go back to whatever you've been telling about the new Brezza, you've been saying only Brezza. So officially, it will be called just the Brezza. The
No,
Vitara name will not no longer be used.
it's the Brezza. Yeah.
And you also mentioned that you expect the numbers to go up significantly from 10,000. So, I mean, like, could you give some sort of a ballpark figure, like in terms of
बॉलपार्क ही
percentage?
दे सकता हूं मैं, because I mean I don't want to, because we can always increase. It's a very common question asked in launches. How much do you expect it to go up? But if you ask me, my broad range seems to be that 12 to 14,000.
Okay.
Yeah,
And coming to the features, Mr. Srivastava, like you mentioned, some of them are, of course, segment first, but some of them are new for Maruti only. Like, for
correct,
example, the sunroof and the wireless
correct,
charger.
correct, correct.
Now, if I look at these features and actually compare the new Brezza to your some other recent launches, even like the Baleno or the XL6 from Nexa, so this car is more loaded in terms of features compared to your top of the line Nexa offerings right now, because it also gets some things like sunroof and all.
Mhm.
So do you see that in a way any sort of a positioning issue, because a car in Nexa has got less features than
No, it's not really less features, because, for example, we introduced the HUD or the 360 camera in the Baleno. XL6
yeah,
has that. Also, I mean, not the HUD, but the others has. You have the ventilated seats, for example. So there will always be some overlap and some exclusive. And
right,
also, I think while we focus on Nexa consumers, big requirement for technology, features, etc., but that is a requirement also for the arena customers. So you will increasingly find, as new launches happen, whether it is in Nexa or in the arena, you would see new features being added. So there would be an overlap, um,
right,
uh, and there would be some exclusivity depending on the timing. So I'm sure, for example, when the next some Nexa vehicle comes in, it will have a sunroof, you know. So it
right.
all depends on timing.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And Mr. Srivastava, for the Brezza, that the existing Brezza, what was the ratio of automatic, and now what you expect it to go with the 6 speed coming in?
So it's like six. It was six. It's 5 to 6% automatic transmission, and
Okay,
the rest is the same. Of course, at the time when it had AGS, it was a little higher. It was about 14% at that
right,
time. But right now it is 694, 95, 5 types. That is the manual transmission to the automatic transmission ratio. Yes, we would expect it to, because I think generally speaking, automatic transmission, there is a preference, especially in the larger, more congested cities, for driving comfort. But then there is also this balance with the price. Typically, an automatic transmission costs a lot more than the manual transmission. So always there is this the added cost or the price, which sort of maybe deterring some consumers who would otherwise obviously find the feature very useful and very practical, especially for driving in congested areas.
And the 20,000 bookings that you have for the existing Brezza, would they all be automatically converted for the new model, or would people still have the option of holding it and going in for the existing version?
So to the extent that we have a very small stock, network stock, very small,
Okay.
those many of course will, and others will have the option to convert to automatically to the new one, with the seniority being maintained from the date of their original booking.